I'm ready, huh?
Yes.
Okay, good morning, colleagues. I want to introduce one of our colleagues by the name Abdoulie Bah. So, Abdoulie Bah is a dedicated and hardworking agricultural engineer with a strong academic background and field experience, skill in irrigation, soil assessment, and agricultural design, with proven ability to work both independently and collaboratively in dynamic environments. His education career reads MSc in Sustainable Agriculture and Food Security at the Newcastle University from 2019 to 2020. He also has a second master's in Agricultural Structure and Irrigation at the Selok University from 2014 to 2017. Abdoulie also has BSc in Agricultural Engineering and Farm Mechanization at Taiwan Post University. He graduated there in 2013. He also has a certificate in Applied Mechanical, Electrical, and Electronic Engineering at GTI in 2006. He also graduated from the Gambia Senior Secondary School in 2005. His professional experience. Abdoulie is a principal officer, Soil and Water Management Services Department of Agriculture from 2017 to present. He conducted irrigation surveys and design for FAO at Jahali and Pachar fields. He also supervised LDSF soil surveys for the EBA project in URR 2021. He led soil sample processing for the National Soil Fertility Mapping Project. His awards include a Chevening Scholarship 2019, Turkish Government Scholarship 2013, Academic Excellence, Best Graduate Student at the Post University in 2013. He has Good Conduct Award at the same university, Taiwan, and the Gambia Government Scholarship also in 2009. He attended conferences and trainings, a seminar on hybrid rice and post-harvest processing at China in 2020. In 2024, he also attended a global conference on agriculture and engineering in New York, USA in July 2015. Internship, Capital Machinery Limited, Taiwan, Engine Assembly and Testing in 2012. His interest includes football, reading, traveling, and internet and tech. These are some of the details of Abdoulie Bah. I welcome Abdoulie Bah. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Abdoulie, as mentioned by the person who introduced me. I'm going to present on the training that we did so far. The first part of the question that we need to answer mostly is on mangrove. And the platform that we use to answer those questions is the Global Mangrove Watch. So I just want to give a basic information about the Global Mangrove Watch. What is it? This is a platform that is used, or it's used as a tool to monitor mangroves around the world. The platform is based on satellite imagery and also field data. It provides easy access to mangrove information. The data is spatial data, which is the maps, and also you have the descriptive statistics, which is the widget. So if you go to the platforms, you go to the widget settings, these are the data cards you have. And there are actually 24 data cards. Any information that you need is from this. I brought this because I don't want to be repeating the process. So any question that is answered, it is from here that we choose the card that we use to answer the question. So the first question was about the total mangrove extent of the country, the Gambia. So what we get in 2020, the total mangrove extent of the Gambia was 609 square kilometers, which represent 88.9% of the country, and 1,197 kilometers of the coastline. If you look at the map, the mangroves are mostly on this region, the Greater Banjul area, West Coast, North Bank, Lower River, and some part of Central River region. URR is not here because I think that part of the country mostly have fresh water, so you don't find mangroves in that region because mangroves do well in brackish or between brackish and fresh water. So the next that we wanted to know is the mangrove net change. If you look at the mangrove net change, you are trying to know whether there is increase in mangrove or whether the country is losing mangrove. So over the years, between the period 1996 and 2020, there has been an increase of 1.9 or around 2 square kilometers actually in terms of increase. If you look at the time series from 1996, there was kind of an increase, but from here there was a decrease, and the highest decrease was recorded around 2016, which went up to negative, and then a slight improvement in 2017 going towards 2018. But after 2019, it seemed there is a decrease also in the mangrove. I put this picture, I didn't use the entire country. I just take a portion which is around LRR to show the loss and also the gain. If you look at the map, you will see some green colors that is indicating increase in mangrove or gain in mangroves. But if you can also see the red colors there, which is telling us that there was a decrease in mangrove. So the next question that we wanted to answer, we wanted to know what are the drivers of this change in terms of mangrove. And what we discovered in this country, the primary cause of decrease in our mangrove is caused by erosion, which is 76.3 or 76%. And the next one that flow it is the non-productive conversion, which is over 18%, followed by episodic disturbances. So the most important one among them is the erosion. So our losses are mostly caused by erosion in this country. Then we look at the mangrove alerts. In this question, we wanted to know, we wanted to know the alerts, whether alerts were recorded between 2020 towards 2025. And 186 mangrove alerts were recorded. And if you look at the graph, the highest record was recorded in March 2021. Around 79 alerts were recorded. So now, what are those alerts? There are different areas. So this portion is in LRR and North Bank. There are other areas like in Banjul, but I choose LRR, this region, which involves two regions, LRR and North Bank. And the primary cause of this alert is the OMVG project. I think when they were they clear these areas for their poles. And also we look at the carbon stock at national level. The carbon stock at national level was recorded to be 58 megatons carbon dioxide equivalent, with 5 megatons stored above ground, and also yeah, 55 was 5 megaton carbon dioxide equivalent was stored above ground, because we already learned that in mangrove they store more under the ground than above the ground, like 40 and 60%. We already learned that. So this map is just showing the nature of carbon in the Gambia in terms of mangrove. So we also look at the impact in carbon sequestration. We know that carbons, they are very good at carbon sequestration. They store a lot of carbons, which help in mitigating climate change. They store 5 times more carbon per unit area. This is from the National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration. They can sequester carbon at a rate 10 times greater than mature tropical forests, because they can store it underground, and also they have that capability of keeping the carbon for a very long time. We also check the biomass at national level. We found that we have 54 tons per hectare in the year 2020, and the highest was recorded between 0 to 50. Yeah, because even if you look at the mean, it's 54 tons per hectare. We also then look for the height of the mangrove, which was 8.21 meters. And most of the mangroves in the Gambia, if you look at them, they are between 5 to 10 meters. Restoration potential, the mean is 70%, and only 1% of the total mangrove area. So I have to go first. And also the restoration potential, the main restorable loss driver in the Gambia is non-productive conversion, which is 2,118 hectares. Fisheries pressure, the Gambia, the median mangrove fishing intensity is 376 days, ranging from 167 to 9,105. Now we move to the next section, which talks about optical remote sensing and radar. We wanted to know what is the difference, or how do they operate. When you look at the optical remote sensing, they depend more on sunlight. They cannot produce their own light. So when the sunlight hits the ground surface or any other object, there is a reflection. This reflection is collected by the sensors. Each object has their own signatures, unique signatures. So the sensor will keep this as an information. They will be able to understand what object is this. So that's how the optical sensor works. And it is called passive because it does not produce its own light. And then you have the radar, which is an active sensor because it produces its own light. If you look at the image on the other side, when it produces light and it hits the Earth's surface or any other object, the reflection is sent back to the satellite. And using this sensor, it will be able to detect what the object is based on the spectral signature. Okay. This one, we were trying to answer the question, why do we see plant as green? We already mentioned the spectral signatures. So for this one, plant, they contain chlorophyll, which absorb most of the colors of the sunlight. So the plant, because of they carry out photosynthesis, the chlorophyll will absorb the red light and also the blue. Then they will reflect the green light. So when they reflect the green light, that's what we perceive as humans. So this is why we see the vegetation as green. So I've already mentioned the spectral reflections or spectral signatures. If you can look at the map out there, the spectral signature is a radiation reflection as a function of the wavelength. You have the wavelength on the x-axis and reflection on the y-axis. So different surfaces such as water, bare ground, and vegetation, they all have their own reflectant signatures. So the satellites make use of these signatures to determine the object. And we wanted to know why NDVI is used to detect healthy vegetation. NDVI quantifies vegetation by measuring the difference between the near infra and the red light, as shown in the formula there. Because healthy plants, they absorb most of the red light and they reflect the near infra light. But for the case of the unhealthy plants, they reflect more of the red light and less infra, near infra. So through that, you can know whether this vegetation is healthy or not. This is why the NDVI is used to detect healthy vegetation. And also, we were trying to compare the differences between optical remote sensing and the radar remote sensing. The optical, they use natural light, which is the sunlight, but for the radar, they have their own light. For optical, they mostly work during the day, but for radar, they can function 24/7 during the day and night also. For optical, they also have some problems, like they cannot penetrate the clouds. But for the case of the radar, they have that ability to penetrate clouds and also vegetation to some extent. These are just some of the bands that are used. And an example of an optical remote sensing satellite is Landsat. For radar is Sentinel-1. So that's the end part of that. Here is the spatial, what we have done in spatial to generate a mosaic. Because of time, so I just choose to put the result. I don't want to go through the process. So we created this one, a mosaic, and then we try to change the colors also, the mosaic, where we use the near infrared, red and green. That's the one we have on the other side. Yeah. So we also try to use the NDVI band. The NDVI band. When we did that, this is what we get. And the next part was trying to classify this classification. So this was the output of our classification. After doing the classification, we wanted to visualize it in QGIS. So I use QGIS to visualize our classification, and I get this. There were two. You have the mangrove that are, because we set the mangrove as 1 and also the other part 0. So if you can look, there are only two. The blue that look bluish is the mangrove, and the others we give the green color. So this is the end of my presentation. I thank you for your kind attention.